This program is brought to you by thepodcastfactory.com.
Canine Crew, it's time to just sell the damn thing. Doberman Dan is revealing his contrarian formula for getting a rush of new customers, building your business faster, and making the highest possible profits. Go to justsellthedamnthing.com to get your copy today.
Prepare yourself for the uncensored, nothing held back, no BS reality of how business and life really work. Doberman Dan is off the chain.
Jonathan, you and I did our time as employees in a JOB. How was that experience for you?
I don't like to talk about that.
It's still too soon to bring up.
It's too raw. Yeah, it was 15 years ago. I still feel the pain of waking up and hating my life and being told what to do by dumbasses that didn't know anything, that pissed me off every day. Those were good times. Thanks, Mom and Dad, for telling me to get a trade.
Now you're causing me trauma. Now you reminded me. So we both broke free of a JOB, but I almost tried to put myself back in one. Not a real JOB, but in an employee mindset. So there's the employee mindset, and then there is the other mindset. I don't know what we call that, like the creative mindset, the entrepreneur mindset. I don't know what we call it. By the way, you can be an employee mindset and still have you can be an employee and have an entrepreneurial mindset. You can be an entrepreneur, but I'm talking about specifically a mindset here, an employee mindset. And I think the employee mindset sucks. First of all, it just sucks in general, but it sucks away all your creativity. It sucks away all possible opportunity. It sucks away all chances of ever becoming financially independent or wealthy. So just to be clear, don't go getting your Barbie underwear in a bind there, Elvis. I didn't say being an employee sucks. I said an employee mindset sucks. Like I said, you can be an employee, yet still quite entrepreneurial, an entrepreneur, as they call it. So the difference and the secret is your mindset. So here's a confession. Through 2014 and 2015 and part of 2016, I acted more like an employee than an entrepreneur.
Wow.
It was because, so I sold my supplement business in 2012, and then I started getting into client work, but I kept a balance. But the 2014, 15, part of 16, it was like 85% client work and 15% my own projects. And just because of the amount of work, I structured my day like down to the minute. Heck, I even scheduled Tang time on my calendar. Tang. That's the drink the astronauts took to the moon, remember? That's a 60s reference. I just realized that went over the head of at least 50% of my audience. So Google the old Tang commercials on YouTube, if there are. But, it just got ridiculous scheduling stuff down to the minute. Like, I got a lot of stuff done, but I hated life. Have you ever dealt with this, or do you keep more of a free schedule, or do you schedule everything?
First of all, I need to include Tang time in my calendar now that you mention it.
When it's scheduled,
it was something else. Anyway,
it's like, hey, look, here it is in the calendar. So
Tang time.
No excuse.
Yeah, you know what, Dan? I've been back and forth on that, and what I found more recently is that I actually do schedule, but I leave what I call flex blocks in there. So I have my tasks for the day, or for the week, but I have like 2-3 hour blocks here and there that things can be moved to, new things can go into or whatever. So I have that space.
That makes a lot of sense. That's basically the system I'm I'm doing now. I'm not so militant about the times. Like I schedule appointments with myself. Now I'm not crazy militant like I was about it before. If things come up or, I'm more flexible about it. But, when I was scheduling everything, you just can't cram a square peg into a round hole. I mean, well, you can, but you're going to damage the peg. And you can't force a true entrepreneur to be an employee. I mean, you can try, but they're going to want to kill themselves or kill the person trying to cram a square peg into a round hole, right? An entrepreneur and an employee think completely differently. Like, for example, so my anal retentive scheduling stuff throughout 2014 and 2015, perfect for an employee. Fatal for an entrepreneur, because at least in my case, I can't be imaginative or creative or entrepreneurial if I've got too much structure. I prefer, I like to come to work each day or come to the office each day and at least have time set aside, if not the whole day set aside for this, at least there's time set aside to just see what develops. Because what often develops, is the stuff that makes millions. And more importantly, it gives me the freedom to live how I want to live, as opposed to, the stuff I had scheduled is, more like kill what you eat, pay the bills kind of stuff. The stuff that develops when you have time to not have structure is the exciting stuff. It's what being an entrepreneur is all about. So like, if you want to know what happened from my OCD anal retentive period back in 2014 through 15, when I crammed my square peg self into a round hole, it wasn't all bad. I mean, I did, I made more money than most neurosurgeons, but here was the problem with that. It was time for money, and it required a lot of time. Like there are 14-hour days, 6 days a week was the norm. So here's the worst part of that. Time for money equals limited income. Time for money means the exact opposite of time freedom, and so I had reached the pinnacle at that point, the very tippy top in income for a freelance copywriter. Highly doubtful I would ever make any more money, no matter what I did. I mean, could I put in more hours? Yeah, I could have. It would have gotten really extreme. I really wouldn't have made that much more money. I mean, like I was topped out. And for me, like limits are the complete antithesis of what being an entrepreneur is all about. And again, this doesn't have to be about money. It's about limits, right? So, I decided after that period, like, this sucks. I'm going to go back to my true nature. I'm going to go back to being an entrepreneur. And I took an immediate 80% hit in income when I fired all but one client,
Ouch.
But here's the thing. Wonder of wonder, miracles of miracles. Guess what only happened in 5 months? So after only 5 months, I was on track to exceed my 2015 income. And even better, I was working less than half the hours I worked when I was whoring myself out as a freelance copywriter. And the most important part was life is just a lot more fun that way. So I guess it's true, like nature abhors a vacuum. So that's a huge vacuum to take, an 80% hit in income. But because now all of a sudden I had the flexibility to be the creative entrepreneurial person that I am, that vacuum filled quickly. And I was able to do it in a way, that didn't have me living that OCD, schedule everything, including Tang time kind of lifestyle. So, I guess maybe just a little nudge or reminder to take a look at that. I mean, if that's your thing, if the employee thing is your thing, then, I see no problem with it. But if you're trying to, if you're a creator, and you're an entrepreneur and you're trying to cram a square peg into a round hole and everything is scheduled and you don't have any time to be creative or to have some free thought time, then I'd say take a look at that, because I think what you're giving up is, in exchange for what you think is more productivity, I think what you're giving up is the ability to create, to either reshape your entire business or create an entirely new business, or discover or create entirely new opportunities that could be about 1,000 times better than what you're doing now.
That's a weakness. You know, Dan, I still struggle with that right now. And I have to like catch myself in the middle of it when things aren't going the way I want, or I'm not getting enough clients or enough calls or enough applications. I get into this weird mindset, and I think it's that poverty mindset or employee mindset of, oh shit, I got to do more. I got to go out there and do more posts. I got to write more emails. And the truth is that, and I hear this all the time as strategic coach, it's like, do less, not more. Like, get yourself some off time so that creativity can happen and you can answer those questions that maybe are more important than what else could I do?
Yeah, that's a good point. You know, Halbert said that all the time. Like, spending a week walking on the beach will produce many more breakthrough ideas, you know, than spending 7 days in an office, you know, nose to the grindstone. There is a time for nose to the grindstone, but there's also a time for spending 7 days on the beach doing nothing but pushing sand into the ocean with your toes and contemplating your navel. And you know what? I just thought of something. Lee Miltier told me something one day. She's been a guest on the show a couple of times. And she told me throughout her entire business career, the more she like structured everything so rigidly like that and chased and did all kinds of marketing, just constantly chasing money, chasing new clients, all that stuff. She just was always treading water, you know, or sometimes going backwards, never made any progress. And when she finally just relaxed and spent more time just being creative and having thought time, then opportunities just like almost like magic fell into her lap.
Now we're making a case for people being lazy in the secret.
Being lazy.
How do we fight against that?
Gotta be a balance there somewhere, right? Like, so as a wise man once said, to everything turn, there is a season. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to schedule Tang time on the calendar, a time to let it happen spontaneously, a time to plant, and sow, a time to reap. You know, so I think there's got to be, when it's always nose to the grindstone, I think you're doing yourself a huge disservice, because you're not allowing the breakthroughs to come by having the unstructured creative time, right?
Yeah, that I don't even count it as work time. I think I made a video about this. Is be eccentric with your time. Richard Koch wrote about it in the 80-20 book. Was be eccentric with your time. Do different things. It doesn't have to be I'm here toiling away, working at my craft. You got to allow yourself to disengage so that your subconscious mind can answer some of those questions that maybe you're thinking too hard about actively. So I think that's a key. But the other thing the other side of that is, and you said it and you do it naturally, but I think a lot of people, maybe even the Off the Chain crew listening right now, might be missing this part, is there is a point where you have to create stuff. You can't just sit there and think all the time. You do also have to get in there and you have to make, whether it's writing, whether it's videos or graphic design, you have to create. And that's also going to stoke your creativity.
Yeah, that's a good point.
All right, Dan, what else have we got? Is this going to be a wrap, or do you have some more mind-bending tips for us?
No, I think I said what I needed to say. I'm out. I'm done.
Mic drop. All right. Another Off the Chain show is in the can, boys and girls. We'll be back next time. Thanks for tuning in. K9 crew, before you run off, I want to remind you, Doberman Dan has set up an Off the Chain hotline. Call in, tell us you love us. It's even better if you tell us you hate us. It doesn't matter what you say. All you have to do is call in, leave a message. The number is 321-424-6043. Again, Off the Chain hotline, 321-424-6043.
This is thepodcastfactory.com.